Hi guys, so welcome again to my The Learning Cup podcast, and this is episode 4. I have not posted a week ago because I have a deadline to meet, but anyways, it is still the same episode that I'm going to introduce. If you have seen my promotion with it, especially on my account, it is episode 4, cheats and bets. So what is this episode for all about? If you see in the title, it is streets and beds, so that it would not be so obvious. So basically, it's about cheating and betrayal. I decided to do a separate episode on this because it is somehow related to my previous episode about my past relationships, but I have not discussed it further because I decided to do a separate episode with it. I think a lot is looking forward to this episode, most probably because it's relatable. There are some of us, or most of us, have experienced this, but I'm gonna do this, share this with you from my own personal experience, but I'm gonna focus more on what I've learned from this, and of course, how did I overcome and began my healing, with cheating and betrayal. Shall we begin? So yeah, I decided to change my mic because my previous mic is dying on me. I have technical problems. So just bear with this audio for a while. Yeah, so I'm gonna start off with the first incidence of cheating that I had. It was with my very first relationship. If you had listened to my previous podcast, um, my first boyfriend, of course, it ended because of a cheating incident. And I was young and naive at that time. I was in my early 20s, so everything was new to me. Even trust was still whole, right? I already had issues with trust with my father, but I said no, it would not be the same with other man. So I had a pure heart. I trusted all the words, I trusted all the actions, so it was like nothing to me. So I was too trusting at that time. I think the very first time that I caught him was, of course, like the new kind of trying to catch someone if someone is cheating on you is through through those chats, right? Through those social media. So when I first found out about it, I saw his entire messenger. There was one chat particularly. I know this girl because it was his ex girlfriend, and you know, there was this before. It was not yet known because it was like 10 years ago, guys. It was just recently. People have debates um, if you want to continue on a relationship, a friendship with your ex. But personally, because of that incident, I am not friends with my ex. I am not friends with my ex. It's a respect to your current one. You know that? So yeah, it was not those kind of friendly chats. It was like borderline intimate kind of chats. So when I confronted him about it, of course, as I've said, young and naive as I am, he said, forget it. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't make a fuss about it. He asked forgiveness, and I said, okay, let's just never mind, and let's move past this. Probably, a little hang up. And yeah, I was moved by it. I did not know the consequence of that action because at that time I was kind of afraid to end things with him because I was not that confident yet because it's my first relationship. And also, yeah, as I've said, I was young and naive. I was still kind of dependent on that guy. And so I brushed it off, forget about it. But you know what? Even the tiny thing, the next move, the next acts, the next act, whatever that he did, it was very suspicious for me. A little crack on the trust was already a big deal because it felt like you cannot trust this person 100% anymore, and it will really take a toll on you mentally because you're just gonna overthink everything. And you're gonna question where he is right now, who is talking with, what is. It's just a terrible kind of mindset. So probably the next thing that I when I caught him cheating again, it was through chat. It was already too much that I felt like it was really a betrayal because it the trust was really is really broken. It's like no more. It's like the promises and the forgiveness meant nothing. That's why it was like a big blow for me. And I did not talk to him after that. I confronted him about it. But it felt like already almost a week since we have not talked about it. And you know what? He did not ask, let's say, for forgiveness of what had happened. No remorse, no change. It was like I've given him a way to get out of the relationship easily. There was no confrontation. I have not seen him personally. He would not even answer my calls at that time. All he said to me was that I have to find myself. I have to take care of myself and my family first. And yeah, I took it something like, oh, maybe I was not enough. Maybe there is something lacking on me. Maybe I was not someone that he can be proud of because I was just starting with my life. I do not have a strong career yet. I also have burdens and issues with my father at that time. So probably he felt like I was really a burden to him. So that's when my self confidence and worth plummeted down. I did not understand why it happened to me. All I knew was I was not enough for this guy. That even though the people around us, especially also my mom, know about him, it doesn't matter to him anymore. You know. So yeah, he ended things with me nothing to say on the matter, and I was really so heartbroken at that time. It was really a very painful experience because everywhere I go I cry, and then if I remember things and if I remember the places that we've been through, I cry every time. It was so funny. Now that I thought of it, I kind of find it so funny already. But I was a young and naive girl. It was the first heartbreak that I had. It was the first betrayal that I have experienced, and the kind of trauma would really stay in the back of your head for many, many years. And probably I did not wanted to face that or settle that because I was still young. I did not know how to handle it. I did not know how to process it. So it was left hanging, especially the trust issue in the back of my head. I carried it on the next relationships that I had. I did not face it because I said, probably every guy is gonna be different, and then I was just waiting for a guy to prove me wrong. And then but what happened was I became too defensive instead of trying or allowing the next guy to prove me wrong, because I have not dealt with trust issues. I have not dealt with the betrayal. I do not understand why it happened to me. I did not understand why this person would do this to me, and I have not recovered fully from it. What I did to recovered from that was, because I felt like I was unworthy or I was not enough, I started to do things that could add merit to my name. So I went through a lot of engagements and trainings academically. I was everywhere to the point that I was able to somehow put a good, a good credit on my name. And that's where I started to have a good career. I understand the path. Somehow that relationship was a blessing because it had pushed me to become good in life, to be better. And but somehow it was like not really fake, but it was like a shallow kind of self-confidence and worth. It was not there yet. It was not there yet because there were issues that I was not ready to face, and I don't know how to deal with it. I did not know how to deal with betrayal firsthand. So yeah, it was just there. It was an unsettled issue that's hanging inside my head. So that was, I think, the young me. Okay, the young me on how I handled um, betrayal and cheating. You don't want to blame it to yourself. You're just gonna throw it out there. You're just gonna blame it to other people. You don't want to take accountability for it, and you're just gonna slaughter yourself with false positivity and happiness, so that you can prove to other people that you're okay, but actually you're not. That's how it is. So yeah, that was my very first cheating incident. So going to the recent or the latest cheating incident that I have. If you know me personally, you would know my story, you would know who I'm referring to. But this entire episode is not dedicated to that. I'm not going to destroy the person. Let's just say that it came to a point that it would not work anymore. That we have to learn from this. We have to accept flaws. We have to accept we have to take accountability. We have to identify and really face things head on. So this kind of cheating incident that the latest one that I had, I'm already in my 30s. So definitely I had a different mindset and I had a different approach about it. When I entered this relationship, I knew from the get-go that I'm going to risk everything. I'm going to risk everything. My role, my career, my face, my image, everything, because I chose a person, I chose a relationship where I really went on the very bare minimum, if you know what I mean. If you are young, you have so much standards, expectations, and that's really okay. You are taught to have a good man, you have to be with a good man, have a good faith, a good family, blah blah blah. It's a good career, has its own bank account, a lot of that. But it came to a point in my time where I just said, I just want a man that I can trust, that is loyal and can love me, and that's it. I did not ask for the other stuffs like the fame, the money, the stability. I did not ask for it. Even the faith, I have not asked for it. Is it a call for desperation for me? I don't know. Most probably because I was already in my 30s. So I was like, you know, if this person loves me and is loyal to me, that's it. I have not put any standards or criteria on expectations on this person because as I grow older, I understand how people have lived with expectations all their lives, and it's a burden actually. So I have loved this person with really no conditions at all, just those bare minimum. And I understood also when I entered this relationship, I remembered I had a conversation with my boss. Um, I am already whole, not really the perfect kind of whole, but the empty spaces in my life are somewhat filled in. I already have a good career. I was way different 10 years ago. I had a purpose. I have served the community, myself, my family. It's like I was ready to settle down. I was already in that mindset. So I have nothing to lose if things is gonna go down on this relationship. It's like I have loved a person and that's it. I have no reason. I have no I have nothing to explain on why I said yes to this person. But I just loved the person, and the only reason that I can give you. But you know what? Just the fact that I only expected the bare minimum, the fact that it was also not given, it was also the last, it was like the last resort, but it was not given. It was such a devastation to me. Ilonggoon kwa ginpangayo mo na kaginhinyo ang loyalty, paghigugma, but it was still not given. So you would just imagine how devastated I was. That even those simple things, easier said than done, no? But even that, it's not gonna be given to you. So I was really, really devastated. Now I was not devastated on the fact that it ended with us, because I could not hold it anymore. It did not happen once, it did not happen twice, it did not happen thrice. So you can just imagine how many times. It started when I was probably I was in my first trimester. I was already pregnant at that time, so I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to make an effort about it because I want to focus on my pregnancy and on my health. There were already several instances, and somehow I allowed that vicious cycle of doing it again, forgiving, taking him back, doing it again. I just let it happen because I was too tired to deal with it at that time because I had to focus on myself. That is why probably by the time that I gave birth and I was able to focus on it really, and really had to put aim on my own mental health, I said, stop. This is such a vicious cycle. I have to stop this. This is not because I love the person. Love is there. But the fact that the disrespect and trust is no the respect and trust is no longer there, this is not gonna work at all. The disrespect weighs more than the love. So I would not understand, or I would not allow myself to be in that position, especially if I want to raise my son in a happy and contented environment. I cannot tell my son that you have to choose a happy life if I myself can't do that. I cannot face my son eye to eye if I'm gonna tell him that I stayed with this vicious cycle just for you. I cannot do that. So did I even think of what others would think of me? Yeah, I did think of what others, not others, but the people who supported me from day one. I did not think of those bashers. I did not think of those people who, I don't know, judged me because of the decision that I made. What I thought about are those people who supported me since day one. You know, I felt I was not really apologetic, but I was just devastated. I was just devastated. I think one of the things that I've learned from this relationship is to not fall in love with potential. When you say potential, that's one sick thing that we do. Like, oh, he loves kids, so probably he's going to be a good father. Those are potentials. You have not seen the real thing yet. No, it's like, oh, he loves his parents. He's gonna be a good family man. No, it's not gonna follow like that. So, yeah, we kind of fall in love with potentials, and then if these potentials cannot meet reality, then that's where we get frustrated, and that's where we tend to manipulate situations. We tend to manipulate the person so that this person can fit to your reality. And if this person cannot fit to your reality, we just become so bitter and we become devastated. It's a very vicious and a very sad relationship. So yeah, um, that's that's the thing that I have learned from the latest cheating incident that I had. Now, I would want to share with you the common and the difference of those two scenarios. Of course, when you are younger, and then if you have no, how do I say this? If you're not yet stable and you have nothing to prove to yourself yet, you tend to waver. Your self-worth, your confidence is really going to waver, and any brokenness, any devastation is really gonna break you. And we do not want to confront that because it's very painful. You do not want to accept that you have a participation in this, that you are also at fault at this. It's really difficult to admit that you also participated on your own brokenness. And that is probably one thing that I have accepted on, as I grew older. Now, the first thing that I really did, I think this is helpful for you, for if you are into this post breakup thing, that the cause was betrayal and cheating. You just have to make that conscious decision. Is like you really want to get out of that vicious cycle already, and you have to make that conscious effort. It means that you really have to be consistent, that you want to let go of this relationship. Now, what made me decide is because, as I've said, the trust and respect is no longer there. Love is not the only thing that will allow you to have a relationship. It's not the sole purpose of why you have to be with someone. Because if you are going to live a life with so much trauma and overthinking and doubt, what's the use of being in a relationship in the first place, right? So I made a conscious decision because it was just too much already, and there was already losing of oneself. I also made the conscious effort because I started to cut ties with everything and everyone related to that person. That is why I had, if you know me, I had really separated and distanced myself because I wanted to do this healing and learning thing on my own. I did not want to be told by others. I did not want to be influenced by others, but I want this healing and moving forward, a conscious decision that it was made by me. It was made by me because I want to heal, I want to grow, and I want to become a better person from this. And you know what I did? I returned to what I love the most. I returned to dancing. I read a lot of. I was kind of obsessed with, with the self healing thing. I've listened to a lot of podcasts. That is why I have my own baby of podcasts now. I've read a lot of books. I've watched a lot of motivational videos. I did those things for myself, and I did a lot of catharsis. Catharsis. I did a lot of ranting, like I had to let it out. I have to dump all those garbage out from my heart because it's not serving me well anymore, especially the bitterness. The revenge, you want to have that revenge. I know you want to be vindicated because you want to prove to everybody, that you are not at fault, that you are better than the one that he cheated you on with, that you are way better than this person. You just want to prove to everybody that you are okay, but along the way you're not really healing. You are just putting off a very shallow and fake front. you know that's what I did. I really have to accept that I participated on this. I have to take accountability because I have allowed this to happen. This is why my entire healing has somehow been painful. At the same time, it was sweet in the end because step by step, I did this on my own. There were already periods like I was about to give in. There were also periods like I gave up, but the next day I'm okay again, and that is okay. We just have to acknowledge that healing is not purely sweet. There are going to be times that you are confronted with, am I really good enough? Am I worth it? Why did he have to do this? Blah blah blah. You really have to write down those things. I did. I did. I really wrote everything. What makes me upset? Is it because I was replaced? Is it because that person is better than me? Is it because I am not worth it? Why am I upset? Really, it's a very tricky and a painful thing to do to yourself, but you have to pinpoint, why the hell are you crying? And that's when I said to myself, oh no, I'm not crying because it ended. I did not feel bad because it ended. I felt bad because I I was having a hard time letting go of the what ifs. When I say what ifs, it was like you already made a plan with this person. You already have a future with him. You're gonna get married, blah blah blah. You're gonna have this and that, but it wouldn't happen anymore. That's why you felt bad, because it's not gonna happen as the way you plan. You have a hard time letting go of those what ifs. And another thing that also makes you upset, it's because you are thinking of those good memories. You are thinking of, maybe it can happen again. Those good moments, that's just, you can't let go. All you have to do is to confront yourself with the reality that the person that you fell in love with and the person that you know that broke your heart now are the same person. They are the same person. The moment that you feel that you have been disrespected, love will never be enough for you to stay. Love is not enough for you to move and stay. To stay, I mean. So you really have to move forward and to know your worth, your happiness, your peace. That is why I chose peace from all of this. Along the way, I understand and I am ready for it, that there are people who's not gonna like my guts for this, because I disconnected ties, and there are people who's gonna judge me more because of this, because I got pregnant out of wedlock. But the thing, by the end of the day, the one person that I'm gonna face with, that I'm sure I have to be totally honest with myself, is my son. And he deserves the truth, and he deserves that genuine happiness. If you don't have a son, if you don't have a child, and you have experienced cheating and betrayal, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. Now, someone asked me, what's the difference between a cheating and a mistake? Well, a mistake is you have forgotten to close the door, you forgot where your keys are, you just realized that it was wrong at the end. Cheating, on the other hand, you knew it from the very beginning. You knew before, during, and after, that what you did will definitely hurt this person. So, will you give them a second chance? I did give second chances, but for me, it didn't do well at all. I will not say it will be the same to other people. I'm not that strong enough to just forgive because of love. Once I now understand that once trust is broken, it's really difficult to mend it. The only thing that I can do as of the moment is to really protect myself. But everything or everyone has a different way of coping and understanding things. And as for me, never ever forget your worth. Never ever forget your worth. And that's it. So, yes, that's about it, guys. It's just a very short episode of the podcast about cheating and betrayal. Because, as I have said, this is from my personal experience. I know that some of you, or most, the people that will have a different story and everything. But I would choose to stay and linger on the growth, on the learning, and the healing, rather than dwell on why these people chose to hurt you. And you also have to take accountability that you have allowed this to happen. So therefore, you must not put all the blame on others. I'm not saying you are to blame yourself, but you have to take accountability. So this is why it is your responsibility to remove yourself from that vicious relationship. It is your responsibility to heal and to protect yourself. And of course, guys, always have a strong heart and protect your peace at all times. See you on the next podcast.